Hello fellow book readers, I'm Stephanie and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the Booktube Newbie tag. So that being said, let's get started. The first question is, why did you start this channel? And really, this could sound cheesy, but I saw just like how wonderful this community was. I loved seeing all the interactions that some of my other favorite booktubers got to have, whether it be like streaming with their friends or, you know, interacting with their comments and like all of their friends in the comments. And I would just like, I wanted to be part of this community too. Everyone seems so nice. I love books, obviously, and I wanted my own community where I could discuss books with other people who are just as passionate about it as well. So that being said, I was very excited to start this channel and start my own little community. So I hope you choose to join my little community. The second question is, what are some fun and unique things that you can bring to Booktube? And I am very excited about this question. I have quite a few ideas that I've been like working up that I'm excited to bring, but to give you a little bit of flavor, I really enjoy arts and crafts as well as reading. So I definitely want to implement some, you know, kind of artsy things into this channel. Some ideas that I've been having are, I mean, first of all, I've been working very hard on my personal planner, or reading journal. So I want to kind of post some videos about that, as well as just some more like artwork, whether it be like actually with books and creating something from the books, or whether it be something else related to books. But either way, I really love painting, really like building some, you know, sculptures and kind of stuff like that. So those are all things that I'm very interested in bringing to this channel as well. Other ideas that I really kind of want to start on this channel include kind of like just a whole murder mystery series. I really enjoy murder mysteries, and so I would love to kind of bring that passion here as well. I have plenty of other ideas that I want to bring as well, but those were some of the ones that I felt comfortable sharing right now. The next question is, what are you most excited for? And I think this kind of lamely goes back to my first question, where I'm just excited to start making friends and like being able to have conversations with people. Literally I recently was like tagged in someone else's video and like I was running all over, like jumping around. I was so excited because that's exactly what I want. I want to be able to meet other people who are so passionate about this and just meet great people that I get to talk about books with. That is definitely what I'm most excited for, and I cannot wait to start interacting with all of you guys more. The next question is, why do you love reading? And like, why not love reading, right? I just think that reading is such a fun escape, and like you can get so many things from reading. Like you can go on amazing adventures, you can make new friends, you can learn new things, you can be happy, you can be sad, you can be heartbroken, you can be full of love. Like the possibilities are endless, and just like the amazing things that authors can come up with, I'm like, I would have never been able to create this world myself, but like it's so impressive to see what people can do and create in all these amazing stories. And so of course I love reading. It's amazing. The next question is, what book or series got you into reading? And really, I feel like there's a couple different times in my life where I got back into reading. And so the original first ever gotten into reading was like when I was a kid, and like reading Shel Silverstein poems like Dr. Seuss, reading The Phantom Toll Booth, or Harry Potter like as a bedtime stories with my mom, like, you know, all of those great books that you had as a kid. I mean, like, you know, initially reading by myself, probably like Junie B. Jones and Magic Tree House stories, like so many different books when I was a kid and growing into the love for reading. Then I feel like really like that middle school age is when it became my entire personality. And so like the books that really got me there were your like classic YA dystopian books. I was obsessed with these, and it definitely became my entire personality. So, you know, your good books like Hunger Games, the Divergent, the Selection series, Unbecoming of Mara Dyer, like I'm just pulling all these random ones from my memory. Oh my gosh, Cassandra Clare books definitely got me there. So that was kind of my second wave of really becoming a reader. And then when I was in college and kind of up until the pandemic started, I kind of took a break from reading, just like, you know, life is busy, reading school books instead of fun books and stuff like that. So then my next wave of getting into reading was kind of during the pandemic, and you know, finding that I had all this time again, I was reverting back to something that used to bring me joy. And so I started branching out a little bit more recently. Definitely still read some YA fantasy. Definitely read a lot of fantasy. I read now some murder mysteries and thrillers. Now I've gotten more into like romance as well. So really branching out into a ton of different genres. And I've really been enjoying that branching out and like getting to all of these different stories instead. My biggest year of reading was definitely like 2021, and I have a whole recap video of what I read in 2021 down below. So if you're interested in seeing kind of what got me back into reading this most recent round, then I would suggest going and watching that video as well. The next question is, what would you ask your favorite booktuber? This question, I feel like I would definitely be asking more like technical questions, like how do you find time to edit? Like, how do you edit? How do you make time in your week to film these videos? You know, all of those fun, boring questions. The next question is, what challenges do you anticipate facing on BookTube? And for this question, I think it would probably mostly be like finding the time to do this. Like, obviously I'm really passionate, I want to be here and I want to do this, but like I have, you know, full-time job and, you know, work late many days, and so I am just probably going to find struggles trying to find the time to do this. And so if I want to do this, which I do, then I really have to set aside time and like schedule it in and make sure I'm doing this on a weekly or everyday basis, always trying to strive towards completing my goals. And so I just have to keep that in the forefront of my mind as I continue to face these struggles. The next question is, when did you start reading? And I feel like I kind of already addressed this earlier. I loved reading ever since I was a little kid. I definitely like grew up doing all the bedtime stories with my mom, and you know, that really fostered that love of reading. And then as I grew up, I just continued with that love of reading. I remember like where we lived, we didn't actually get a free library card, and so we would always have to like either work with someone else who had a library card so that we could go and like do the reading clubs every summer. And I remember like literally every time we went on a vacation, we would stop at a bookstore and always buy a book, and those were my favorite parts of the trip, was like buying the books so that I could have a new book to read. Reading was definitely like a formative part of growing up for me. The next question is, where do you typically read? And I think this is an interesting question. Definitely, I feel like most of my reading is done in my apartment, either like on my couch, or if it's like right before bed, in my bed. So that's where I do most of my reading. However, I am that type of person who brings a book with me everywhere. So if I'm like in the car, I will be reading, or if I'm having like a nice coffee somewhere, like I'll whip out that book. So a little bit, I'll try to read anywhere I can, but for physically reading books, mostly at home. The last question is, what type of books do you like to read? I feel like I kind of addressed this a little bit earlier too, but I'm really like trying to branch out into a lot of different genres. So like I mentioned, I was very heavy in YA when I was like in middle school and high school, and still read a little bit of that, but like I've really been trying to get into different genres. And the main ones that I've recently been getting into are like romance and like mystery and thrillers. I've always like really enjoyed kind of that YA fantasy, like not necessarily like high fantasy, haven't gotten into that yet, but some of your like lighter speculative and those kinds of fantasies. Most recently in the current year, I've like tried a couple of horrors, trying to get into that. I have tried some more nonfiction. I'm really just trying to find my interest, and it seems to be a little bit of everything. If you have any great suggestions for different genres, please let me know down below, because I need some great suggestions. Those were all of the questions for this Booktube Newbie tag. I am so excited for all of the different plans that I have for this channel. I'm so excited to start meeting some of you guys and interacting with you, and I'm excited to hopefully read some great books. That being said, if you thought this was intriguing and you would like to join me for my journey, then please like and subscribe down below. I'd love to hear from you in the comments about some of your favorite books, some of your favorite booktubers, or any of your answers to these questions. And if you don't know what to write in the comments, please just leave me a heart, any of the colors that you want, but I would just love to know that you have enjoyed your time so far here with me. Until next time, keep reading!